Today, we are going to talk about how to put yourself out there so you can sell and create a badass personal brand authentically, because a lot of peeps are worried about being fake and phony, as you should be. You should be really real in front of people because their bullshit-ometer will go off like mad if you're not real. Yes, it's that chocolate thing for kids. Morning, Sarah. How are you doing, darling? So today, what I prepared for you is four reasons why people's personal brands aren't as strong as they want them to be, and they're not what you think. None of them have to do with not pumping enough money into their business. That's not what we're talking about. But first, our darling friend Daniel asked a really good question. And if you're watching, friends, drop a hello. Hi, Robert. How's it going? From San Diego. Robert, our question of the morning was, what do you eat for breakfast? We have some people who have like 22 cups of coffee. Mad respect. I think my hands would like shake right off. Nesquik and a strawberry smoothie. What else do people have? Yeah, lots of coffee. We got a lot of entrepreneur grown-ups who need their coffee, and that's cool. Okay, so Daniel asked this awesome question. Coffee and anger. Love it. Love it. You put on some gangster rap and you're like, I'm going to win at life. That's amazing. I just want to let you all know, make a confession, I always get decaf. I already find it hard to fall asleep. And so even if like I start my day with a cup of coffee, it's over. I'm not going to sleep for the next year. Sarah, tea and yogurt with almonds and raspberries. Ooh, that sounds amazing. This is like a menu, guys. Now I'm going to order it from you, like Uber entrepreneur. Daniel, what's up? Okay, friends, so Daniel asked an awesome question. Let's start off there, and then from there, I'm going to share. My tea is decaf, respect. Guys, I'm such a goldfish. That's why Facebook Lives for me. I'm like, if a comment pops up, I'm like, I don't even know what I was talking about, honestly. Sarah, what kind of tea do you like? What's your fave? I really actually find it interesting how when you go for sushi, they're always like a different kind of green tea, or like sometimes like a corn tea, and they're so subtle, the differences, but I like those. That's nice. Daniel's like, decaf, boo. Yeah, I mean, my friend, I'm like too high strung without any coffee, and then you throw some coffee in and I'm like ready to run a marathon, but sort of like the sitting version, you know what I mean? Okay, friends, so Daniel asked an awesome question. Let me read it to you. He said, what is the fastest way to get a potential client on the phone? Are there any certain ways to phrase a CTA call to action, hopping on a free consultation and emails, about to start some outreach in T-minus? Right, okay. Help me be more persuasive, please. Great question. That's awesome, Daniel. Here's where I would start. I'm going to tell you a quick story to answer your question, Daniel. So there's this awesome dude named Billy, and I did not know Billy. Billy reached out to me. I went to Facebook, and in my private messages, I got a message from Billy, a 10-minute video that started off with, hello, Paloma. Now, you might think, oh, that's a little creepy, you're about to get serial killed. Well, luckily, I was not serial killed. Thank you, God. I appreciate that. And instead, he sent me like a 10-minute video on how my Thinkific course landing page could be better. Okay? Now, this takes major balls, it takes major ovaries, it takes major chutzpah, right? I know, Sarah, you're like, she's about to die. Luckily, I didn't. And he sent me a 10-minute video, and he was spot on. He was spot on about everything he said. He was like, there's too much text. This needs to move. This button, if it were over here, it would be more noticeable. And he didn't start off by saying, hey, I want to sell you some shit. He started off by helping me and giving me free, unsolicited advice. Carrie, hello, darling. How cool. Carrie, what do you eat for breakfast? That's what I want to know. I need to know today. I'm super curious. What do you eat for breakfast? So yeah, he just started off by helping me. And so, someone could be potentially insulted by that. Like, yo, why are you like criticizing my thing without even knowing who I am, blah, blah. The right person, the kind of person who wants help anyways, will be receptive to that. It all has to do with the delivery, because all negotiations, you really are, potentially inflaming a person's ego, and negotiation is all about emotion, ego management. Carrie has banana chocolate chip pancakes. Okay, guys, vote for who you think is the winner. Which other breakfast would you have? Which other breakfast would you have if you couldn't have your 22 cups of coffee? That's amazing. Yes, okay, so Billy sent me an awesome video. I reached out to him right away. I initiated the follow-up from him. I initiated it. And we hopped on Skype and we had a conversation. He did not end up selling me into something. In fact, we sort of built a little collab because I said to him, I probably need what you have, and also you could convince me better. And so I wanted to, you know, he was helping me with some Thinkific stuff, and I was helping him on how he could sell people like myself more effectively. So the short answer to your question, Daniel, which is a great one, which is how to get people on the phone, how to actually, you know, one thing is having that selling conversation, but then the next thing is, well, the first thing is how do you get that conversation started? The only way to get permission to talk to someone is, one, to be interesting, and two, to appeal to their self-interest, okay? We all know the like cliche with them, what's in it for me? But the truth is, if you know that you're just hopping on a sales call, like why would you want to, right? But you can talk to anybody if you appeal to their self-interest, right? And so in order to successfully appeal to their self-interest, Alex, what's up, my friend? In order to successfully appeal to their self-interest, you need to know what they want. So anytime you're meeting a new person, anytime, your secret FBI goal is, what do they want? And not like in a superficial way. Like, who is that person on a deep fundamental level? What do they want? Everyone has something that they're chasing almost like obsessively in their life, right? And for me, my thing is freedom and new levels of freedom, more freedom, right? And so if you really took the time to get to know me and what drives me, you know what I'm working against, which is against the feeling of being, you know, of lacking options, of being controlled. And this is fundamentally deeply who we are, right? So this will have to do with, like, are you a great question asker? Are you great at building rapport? By the way, I should say, in the Sell Yourself kit, which we're having a birthday sale for, I have a whole section on how to ask good questions. The reason I made that is because I was on Landon Porter's Friday Night Live panel. And hi, Shamila, how are you? Yeah, so I was on his Friday Night Live thing, and I noticed that you know, there weren't enough peeps who were like stepping forward to ask good questions. Well, if you ask good questions, you are very powerful because you have useful information, and so you need to know, what does this person want most? What drives them in life? And then the next thing is, how can I give that to that person? Or how can I fit what I have into what that person wants, right? So if you know, for example, that right now I have my Sell Yourself kit out, and one thing that I want is a lot of people to be able to experience it. It's very close to my heart. It's important to me. Then, and Daniel did awesome. Like, he shared my post on this, which is amazing. Like, he knows what I want, and he helped me with it, right? Now, you don't want to create a false sense of empowerment in terms of giving them everything, right? So a lot of people on webinars, for example, will just like give. And then the person will leave feeling like, oh, I've got it now, I can do it. Well, the truth is you're leaving them falsely empowered because they have the ideas, but they don't have the tools necessarily. That's where you fit in. And so, Daniel, it's so important that you leave a curiosity gap, okay? So we badly want to know what we don't know, right? So if I tell you my family made me a birthday meal yesterday, and it was a delicious birthday meal, but I'm not going to tell you what that was, what they made me, until the very end, right? That's a curiosity gap. You're going to stay paying attention, even if it's like a stupid little thing like, what did you have for your birthday meal? You still want to know. You're still kind of curious, right? I'm not going to tell you till the end. And so a curiosity gap, for example, when Billy sent me those like 10 things that I could do to make my Thinkific page better, one thing that he could have done, perhaps a missed opportunity, was to say, there were 3 other things that I think are the most fundamental that I would really like to help you with. And, you know, let me know your availability if you're ready to chat about them. I think they can make a huge difference, right? And also, you know, showing the fact that this is not a sales call necessarily. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, we have this like sort of dirty feeling about sales, which we need to get rid of. If you have to ask yourself this question: do you genuinely believe that the thing that you have will help people? Yes or no? There's no shades of gray. There's no no. Do you genuinely believe the thing that you have will help people? I don't think that it will, my shit. I know that I've transformed lives. So that gives me the peace, the internal peace to think I'm not pushing. I'm generously offering the thing that is most precious to me, which is something that I learned the hard way. I learned the art of confident communication. It's opened a shitload of doors for me. It's allowed me to work for myself since I was 19 years old. And so I know this is good. And if you don't get in, then that's your loss. And I know that. I genuinely know that, right? So there needs to be a curiosity gap. There needs to be something that you don't reveal until you talk to them, right? Delay that gratification of knowing, right? I mean, be helpful and then also limit it, right? So on a webinar, for example, you are telling them the what and perhaps a teeny bit of the how, but you don't have in an hour-long period the time to tell them all the how, right? And so what you'll say is, I showed you the steps, but in an hour, we couldn't go through all of the nitty-gritty of what you actually have to do. And so for that, blank, some kind of call to action, right? So Daniel, your personality is really going to matter. I've had people who, I'm not trying to sell them something, I'm trying to connect with them, who want to connect just because they find me fun and interesting, right? And so in that first interaction, if you can be funny, if you can be so legit and real and authentic and personable and friendly, that goes far. But I would love to share blank with you. Do you have a sec to chat? Works. I noticed X. I think you're really good at X. I'm just this crazy kid from Canada, and I've been doing XYZ for a really long time. I see 3 opportunities that I think could be optimized. I would love to have a quick chat with you and explain those to you. No strings attached, no pressure, right? Because people fear being sold. It's an uncomfortable feeling. It's really uncomfortable to be on the phone. And I know you guys have had. Tell me, have you been on an uncomfortable discovery call before? Comment yes or no if you have. I really would love to know. Have you been on an uncomfortable discovery call before? When you feel what the difference between pushy and helpful is? Pushy is that the person hasn't done an adequate job of diagnosing, right? We want to it's almost like we're doctors, okay? So our clients, our prospects come to us and say, I'm struggling with this, I'm in pain about this. If you automatically say, you need Robitussin, right? You're like, did you even listen to me? Do you even know who I am? Do you know what I need? Do you actually care about me, or are you an affiliate of Robitussin, right? So we want to prolong the diagnosis part, the part where we're asking questions, where we can really understand what this person needs. And by the way, you won't feel pushy or salesy when you realize that not every person is the person you're going to work with, and that you are also auditioning them. Okay? They're not just auditioning you, you're auditioning them because you're going to give your gifts to everyone. Daniel says, uncomfortable discovery call sounds like a great descriptor for my first time my girlfriend and I talked on the phone. Lol, Daniel, tell us more about that. That's hilarious. So then what you say at the end, Daniel, is my first conversation with my girlfriend should have been called uncomfortable discovery call. I said one thing that got me in a lot of trouble. Want to know what that is? Boom, curiosity gap. Yeah, I do. Please tell me. Melanie, hate those. I like chatting, getting to know what the other person does and not being pushed. Yeah, 100%. We all do. The truth is, okay, so this is something interesting. It takes on average 7 to 9 impressions of you, experiences of you, before people know you, like you, trust you, and willing to take a leap on your thing, right? And so you might think that it's a loss if you get off the phone and they don't end up buying. The truth is you had one impression with them, and that's a deep impression. Talking with that person impression is a deeper impression than just scrolling by what someone writes. Those clipboard canvas people on the streets? I remember, I think it was Because I'm a Girl or one of those campaigns. And I remember the dude wanted to stop me to talk to me, and I said to him, listen, I'm happy to talk. Right today, I'm not going to be donating. I just want to say that early on, and it's totally fine if you want to spend your time talking to someone else. And he said, you know what? No, I would love to still talk to you because now you'll know what we do, right? Now you know what we do. So that first impression, that first experience is valuable and worthwhile, right? You're moving people along the chain. And I think that one thing that can be really harmful in sales, and it's painful and it's hard because we are impatient humans. Trust me, friends, if you look at the way that I flip through a book so fast or watch a movie so fast, I'm impatient as fuck. But this whole thing is a nurturing process. It's a nurturing process. It takes people time to trust, and it should take people time to trust, right? But when you build that trust, it's deep and it's long lasting. So think of Tim Ferriss's people. Think of Landon Porter's people, right? They love him and they trust him as they should because he's taken the time to nurture them. It's like, listen, a fetus, a baby, is not going to be able to play golf today. It's not going to be able to play golf tomorrow or tomorrow or tomorrow or tomorrow. But eventually it will be able to play golf. And I know that it's hard because we see it as black and white. Like, you get off a Discovery call, they're like, you know, I have to go ask my spouse, which is code for like goodbye forever. And then you think, oh shit, like I lost one. One got off the hook. Actually, you possibly moved them further on your chain to getting to know you. Or you discover that this is not your person. And both of those are valuable. Just remember, if you feel scared to go into these sales experiences, remember that you either get one of two things, and both are valuable. You either get data, which is super valuable, trust me. You know, sometimes you're on a Discovery call and someone's like, I'm completely broke. Now you want to pre-qualify that out. But if you get that information, great. Now you know someone who to not market to, right? You either get information or you get money, right? And either way is useful. Trust me, the data is useful. And you'll see patterns. By the way, if you often get, you know, if you often get the same objection, great. Now you objection proof your pitch and say, you know, you might be wondering about blank, a concession, right? You know, yes, it is expensive, right? And I say this with my like one-on-one clients that I work with. Yes, I'm expensive. I'm really fucking good. So don't be scared. I'm expensive and I'm really good. And, you know, you can address their objection if you get it again and again. Daniel says, okay, so we're hearing the story, part 2 of the Daniel girlfriend saga. 7-hour phone call where we discussed our supposedly deepest, darkest secrets, which ended up making us feel more connected to each other. Funny how that happens when compatibility is there. How interesting, guys. That actually brings up a great point, Daniel, which is who we trust and why we trust them. It is no accident that people who make confessions are more trusted. It is more honest, and it also shows that it is working against your self-interest, which actually works in our favor, ironically enough, right? So, for example, let's take the example of Buckley's cough syrup, right? They say, tastes awful, but it works. They are saying something against their self-interest, which it tastes awful. And because they say something against their self-interest, it's so honest, we're like, oh, they're trustworthy, it must work, right? Everything else you say has a lot more credibility, right? So let me share with you what I promised today. 4 things that I see with people's personal brands that are, you know, costing them potential clients. You know, at the end of the day, a lot of this has to do with memory. And I know that's such a strange thing. When you think of Nike, right now, guys, just right, what do you think of when you think of Nike? First thing that pops into your head, Nike shoes, you think? Just do it, right? You think McDonald's, I'm loving it, right? Whatever. Whoever is able to best build an association in your brain with something else, you know, wins the space in your brain, wins that space. So, for example, you know, when you say Grant Cardone, whether you like him or not, when you say Grant Cardone, what do you think? 1 word, guys, or 2 words, what do you think? We think sales. He has done an awesome job of dominating that sphere. So this comes into my first one of 4. You know, the first challenge is that people are not known as one thing. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, but Paloma, I'm so talented at a million things, I don't know what to emphasize. I know that because I've worked with a lot of clients on that. I understand 1,000,000%. And I understand because for me, I am not just an entrepreneur. I'm a visual artist. Go creep my Facebook albums. Go under art. I'm a visual artist, right? What else am I? I love to cook, and I watch, like, when I'm at the gym. Do you guys watch Chopped? Do you know that show? I love cooking shows. Oh my God. I need water. One sec. I'm dying. I love cooking shows. I love to cook for my family, right? That's another thing. I'm also a poet. I'm a writer. I did a master's in creative writing, right? And I wrote a book. So an entrepreneur is one part of who I am, a huge part of who I am. But I understand that it can feel pretty vulnerable to be like, I'm just one thing, because you're a lot of things, and all those things that you are remarkable, and they all feed into who you are and what you're able to give, right? The fact that I'm a poet, for example, the fact that I'm a writer really helps me when I'm working with my clients in business, because language is everything. Language is persuasion. Language is power. Language is connection. Language is the ability to connect, okay? So it is absolutely an asset that I'm a poet when I'm working with my clients, right? But I don't advertise myself as that. I advertise myself as Paloma, badass communication, badass confidence, okay? Because I want to be known for one thing, and I want to have a sticky place in your brain, right? Even better if your one thing that you are or you have has an image associated with it. So Landon Porter's brilliant because he connected himself with the image of a gorilla, okay? And so, you know, it's such a strong identifier for people. They call themselves gorillas. They have different versions that they call themselves, and they even hashtag in my group their gorilla title, right? So please be known for one thing. Could you imagine, right, if you go to, you know, a person who's selling muffins, and they're like, guess what? I also do surgeries. And I also am a babysitter. Guess what? I'm not just a babysitter and a doctor, but I'm also a gardener. Then at a certain point, you don't trust them to do anything for you. There used to be, guys, it's so funny. There used to be a shop near my house that said like chicken and waffles and Chinese food or something like that, and chocolates. Like it literally had like 4 different things in the title of what it was, right? And have you guys ever seen a store like that? Like something that does a little too much, like almost like Walmart, like where you have like a toilet right beside like broccoli, just like does too much. When it comes to your personal branding, if you're doing too much, if you're saying that you are too much, you can't remember. You can't remember, okay? So yeah, you have to be one thing. You have to be one thing. Stereotype yourself. Stereotype yourself as one thing, okay? Next. Your personal brand is not honest. Oh God, that's a hard one, right? When it comes to good storytelling, what makes a good story is really high highs. Hi, Jason. Really high highs juxtaposed against really low lows. That's an amazing story. Like, you know, the man's hand was around my neck. I turn around. Oh my God, it was my high school boyfriend. He was just kidding. That's not funny, Mark, I said. Blah, 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 right? Highs, lows, highs, lows. That takes you on an emotional journey, right? The thing is that people want to, and I've seen this again and again and again with people that I've worked with. They're scared to put their story out there because it's not all beautiful. Surprise. Well, not surprise. We go through a lot of shit in our lives, and life is painful. And I've talked about different things that have been painful in my life that I've been through. And you know, like a good story builds tension. Tension creates attention. That's how you win attention, through tension, okay? So, yes, you have to tell your story. You have to be honest. People know when you're not honest. People have the best bullshit-omometers because there's a shitload of content in the world, okay? And let me just say this, friends. The thing that you are potentially ashamed about, and everyone has something, Everyone has baggage. Everyone has, oh my God, why is his hair there? Everyone has something that they don't feel 100% comfortable about themselves. Say it out loud. Say it out loud, and by the way, tell your people. What a powerful connection you can make with them when you tell them. So I've had clients who are like really nervous about their accent, right? What happens if you go up there and you say, you know, I feel a little bit self-conscious, honestly, because of my accent. But in spite of that, I'm going to stand in front of you and I'm going to talk to you. That is so inspiring. It's so moving, right? Let me ask you guys, is there ever something that you have felt nervous to put out there and you did? What did you put out there? What did you put out there that you were nervous to tell people about, that you told people? Because the truth is, a lot of this has to do with, you know, when we're talking about confidence, shame comes up. Shame really comes up. It's deeply within us. It's a painful thing, right? When you take the thing that hurts, that feels like your thought mosquito, and you hold it up to the light and you look at it, and you say it out loud to a safe person, you take away its power. Speak the thing that is shameful. Speak it out loud to a safe person that you trust and respect, who is deserving and worthy of your vulnerability, okay? You don't know how many people, when I put out posts where I talk more about my personal experiences, the response I get is huge. I get people sharing it. I get people private messaging me saying, thank you for sharing that. And when you show that you're imperfect, you give other people the license to be imperfect. It brings you closer. Like Daniel said, you know, him and his girlfriend shared confessional kind of dark secrets, right? That brings you closer to someone. It's a kind of intimacy that you only share with one person. They feel special. Everything's about the way you make people feel, right? When you make a confession, you make people feel special. You make people feel like an insider into your life and who you are, okay? So, challenges with personal branding. 1, you're not one thing. 2, you're not honest. 3 is you're not consistent. I know it's hard because it's long game, but you have to be consistent. And you might think, oh my God, I'm like, is that in Jerry? Hello, darling. I'm so happy you're with us. You know, you might think, oh my God, I talk about this again and again and again and again and again. I'm bored of it. Well, guess what? Your people are just catching on to who you are and what you do, right? And so, you know, this is the test, okay? We call it the Chandler Bing test. We can call it the interview test. If you were interviewed for one thing, what would you be interviewed on? Can people refer to you? Do they know how to refer to you? Do they know, you know, for me, if someone is struggling with their confidence and with putting themselves out there, with how to sell themselves like a badass, you send them to me, okay? For Chandler Bing on Friends, the running joke was that we didn't know what he did. He was doing something to do with computers. Yeah, and Jerry's 1,000,000% lit. She is the coolest. She is, like, so freaking cool, definitely. So, you know, it's a memory game. You need to put yourself out there again and again and again and again and again and again until you're Tim Ferriss and someone says, oh, Tim Ferriss equals 4 hour, right? You know, whoever it is, like, give me an association, guys. Let's play this game. Throw me an association. What person equals blank, right? So Grant Cardone equals sales. Tim Ferriss equals 4 hour. Give me another person in their association. Let's play this game and see how many we can come up with. Because, you know, it is a process. And I know, I'll just say this. I get that it's a sacrifice. I get that it's a sacrifice to be just one thing for people. I get it. It's almost like we have to cut off our arm. But the truth is, it's about clarity. How can someone remember that I'm 10 different things? For you guys, I want to be one thing. I want to be the confidence chick, right? Oh, Matthew, that's a great one. Gary V equals hustle. Yes. Yes. Good. That's awesome. Can you guys think of any other ones? This person equals blank, or this company equals blank, right? PETA equals rights for animals, right? We know that right away. May I declare myself the Don Draper of freelance writing? Actually, my friend Elijah already said that in my review place. That's awesome. Oh my God, Amir, good one. Ramit, how do you say his last name? I never know. Is it Sethi? Ramit S. Angry bird eyebrows. That's so funny. Oh my God. I love Ramit Sethi. I think he's amazing. But honestly, his eyebrows drive me nuts. One of them is like a little bit more in than the other. And I so badly want to be like Ramit. There's something that I can help you with. I love that dude. Yeah, that's awesome, Amir. That's hilarious. Can you guys think of any other ones? This person equals blank, or this company equals blank. And you know, some of you guys that I've really gotten to know and love, I know what you equal. And people need to know what you equal, right? And so do this exercise. If you don't have, like, you know, Paloma equals badass confidence, or you know, Gary V equals hustle. If you don't have one of those, take some time to do a brainstorm, okay? So Matthew, when I think of him, I think of design. Matthew has been so lovely and helped me with awesome design stuff. Amir, what I think of him is funny, actually. I don't actually know quite Amir. Let us know what you do. But it's funny, your personal brand is not what you say you are. It's what other people say you are behind your back when you leave the room, right? So it's funny how, you know, I might not know exactly what Amir does for work, but I know that whenever he comments, it's going to be funny. And so insofar as he's consistent with that, that's his personal brand in my eyes, right? Ritz-Carlton makes you feel special. Great. Rolex watch, you know, luxury. All of these associations, it's an association game, right? How do you say your name properly? Is it Shamaila? I totally need a catchy word for myself too. Yeah. And listen, it develops over time. It takes time. It really does take time. And every time someone says, what do? You re-articulate it. You say it again and again and again and again. Eventually you have something that sticks. Don't be scared if you're still in the process of workshopping. Like, I've been working for myself for like 6 years. Hi, Jane. That's awesome. Yeah, I've been working for myself for a long time. And so, you know, I started differently than what I'm doing right now. I was working with ESL students, people from around the world who were learning English. And then it evolved because my peeps asked me about how to be confident. And I was like, yo, that's something I've been learning since I was a kid. My mom was a marketing coach. She stayed with me. She helped me so much and taught me the art of confident communication. So that's how my business evolved, right? And that lent itself well to negotiation skills, pitch skills. You know, I was observing and experiencing her online entrepreneur world. She brought me to conferences. She taught me a ton. She mentored me. And as a result, I understood fundamentally and deeply how to move people, how to influence people. Matthew, great one. Apple equals classy. Yeah, definitely. Longevity, I don't know, those earbuds, man, they die every year. But definitely sophistication. What about Starbucks, guys? What about Starbucks? What does Starbucks equal? If you're in Canada, what does Tim Hortons equal? Other people are like, what's Tim Hortons? And I'm like, that's Canadian religion if we have one. So yes, come up with something. Paloma equals blank. You know, I was helping my awesome friend Luis Alvarado, who is hilarious and lovely and sweet as hell. And I said, you know, what do you equal? And he was saying something about like social media. I'm like, okay, now make that visual. Make that visual, because you can't feel, taste, touch, experience. What does social media feel like? Give us an image, like Landon is the sales gorilla. If you are, you know, if you're the social media chess master, I said to Luis, like, use this chess master, you know, metaphor throughout, right? Use an analogy, extend that analogy, because that's how we think. We think in pictures, right? So, like, for example, you know, I was meeting up with a friend, and my sister's like, oh, that's the pink-haired girl, right? That's how she remembered her, as opposed to what her name was, right? So just ask yourself, how can I add something visual to what I am and who I am? Okay, the last one is, guys, that people's personal brands are not attention-worthy. The word remarkable essentially means worth remarking upon, worth talking about. I'll give you an example of basically, let me tell you how you can be remarkable is an interesting intersection, right? I remember I was in this, did you guys ever take philosophy? Was I the only one who, like, did you guys ever take philosophy class? Okay, I literally have no idea in the world which philosopher said this, but I remember that this philosopher dude was like, you can't create anything new. There's no such thing as new creation. What we simply do is we remix. We mix two things together and make a composite, make a hybrid, make a third thing, right? And so the truth is, when it comes to personal branding, yeah, I mean, listen, the most creative people are the ones who are best at mixing different things. Think of a Michelin star restaurant. They didn't invent a lemon. They didn't invent a lamb shank. They took their resources and they mixed them in a creative, interesting way, right? Let me give you an example of that. So I was helping one of my clients who is in the area of fitness, helping her with how to stand out. And, you know, I said to her, who are some like fitness Instagram crush peeps that you would love to interview if you could? We ended up building an interview project that was pretty badass. But so she showed me this girl whose thing was planking for pizza. I thought that was so funny. Essentially, you know, the like exercise plank move that I never do. Basically, she like had pictures of her with pizza, and she was saying like, you know, the reason that I work out is not so I can have like the Instagram fit abs. It's so I can eat as much pizza as I want. And all of her pictures had that theme. My friend Elise, who does travel entrepreneuring, she's the travelpreneur. And if I need to send anyone to someone who wants to do like Instagram, business, and travel, those are her 3 themes, send them to her. And so you need to know, like, for example, my sister teaches Spanish, and she's awesome. And, you know, one class that she started to incorporate is sexy Spanish or dirty Spanish, right? So find an intersection, right? For me, it's not just confidence, but it's like badass confidence. And what it means to be a badass is like, you do what you want unapologetically. You're so fucking real because you're not scared of people liking you or not liking you, right? And I say this all the time. I love you guys. I really, really love you guys. And I'll be okay if you don't like me, right? I want you to like me, but I don't need you to like me, right? That's what badassery is to me. You live life unapologetically on your own terms. You put yourself out there. People say you're so real. Yeah, because you've given yourself a lot of permission and a lot of freedom and a lot of license to be who you are, to ask for what you want on your own terms. So just to recap, friends, okay? These are 4 things that make it hard for people to have their personal brand authentically sell themselves. 1, you're not one thing to people. So let me know in the comments. This is a great exercise. I equal blank. Ellen equals blank. Matthew equals blank. Amir equals blank. Jane equals blank. Tell me what you equal so that I know when I stumble across someone who says, I need some design work, I say, great, go to Matthew. When someone who needs copywriting, great, go to Amir, right? Let me know what your thing is and let other people know. Don't be a secret agent about this. Don't hide it. Let people know I equal blank. And all your communication should have that word as part of it. It should be part of the theme. Think of it like a theme party, okay? You are a theme party. You are, oh my God. When I was a kid, I had the most embarrassing theme party. I don't even know why I did it. I did like a fruit and vegetable one. I do not know why. I think it was my mom's idea. But it was really embarrassingly weird. But you are a theme party. What kind of theme party are you? What's your flavor? What's your style? That is the kind of thing that makes you no longer a commodity, right? You are not a tissue, okay? You are not just a cup that people can price compare. That's not who you are. You are a specialist. You are a monopoly on what you know and what you do, and you have an interesting intersection, okay? So I'll end with this. There is a lovely section in the Sell Yourself kit on how to sell yourself and personal branding. This is scratching the surface. This kit was made out of love. I was a shy kid. I did not put myself out there, did not find it comfortable. But since I have, and since I've learned the art of confident communication, it's fucking changed my life. I work for myself. I do what I want when I want. I traveled to Italy with my sister. I went to Argentina with my sister. Like, I do what I want, and it feels really beautiful. And so I deeply care about freedom. I care about my freedom, and I care about your freedom. So that's what the Sell Yourself kit is. Let me throw a link up in here. I made my first ever sales page. Are you proud of me? There we go. I'm going to put that in there. Did that work? Let me see. I don't know. And I just want to let you know, because it is my birthday week, we are having a birthday sale. So it is $4.97 now. It is easily worth, and it will eventually be between $2,000 and $5,000. Easily worth that, because it's made me many thousands of bucks more than that, many thousands, and have allowed me to live a life on my own terms, allowed me to be unapologetic, so that if someone says, like, you know, I don't like your thing, I can be like, that's okay. Like, it's okay. I'm not beholden to any, like, boss that I don't like, whatever. Anyways, friends, you know, the backbone of the course is confidence, pitch, copy. And we have chunks on personal branding, negotiation, how to connect with people, how to really, like, get people to talk to you, want to talk to you. Because how do you sell to people if they don't even want to engage with you, right? And it takes you through the process of how do people know you exist? All the way to the point of when you're on a discovery call, how do you make it compelling for them? And how do you not be pushy? Please, guys, like, I don't want you to be on uncomfortable sales calls for your sake and for the person who's on the phone with you. And the cool thing is, people who know me know that, you know, I love this stuff, and loving it, plus having studied it since I was a teenager, plus having helped a lot of people, helps me. It really helps me. The social proof of, like, the proof is pretty much in the pudding. Like, you can see what I've done and the people that I've helped. So anyways, I would love to invite you in on that. The first 6 people who are in on it get a one-on-one with me. Some of those spots are already grabbed, but if you want to grab one of the last couple spots to have a half-hour one-on-one with me, for me to dive into your business and your confident communication, it would be my pleasure, as long as you're cool and fun and nice and you laugh at all my jokes. I love you, friends. Ask any questions you have. Any questions at all, please. I invite that. Either about the kit, about how to sell yourself, how to put yourself out there, anything to do with personal branding. You feel free. Throw that up there. Otherwise, I love you guys all so much. And I'm happy that you're hanging out. Like, it's really lovely. It's really cool. So I'm going to put on my song again, and I'm going to dance my way out because I got to go meet a client now. But let me know if you have any questions. And I love you all, and thanks for hanging out with me. Hope you're dancing with me. Matthew, I know you know who this is. Send any requests you have, friends. Feel free to take a sec, guys. If you have any questions, I'm here for you. So ask anything you want to know. How to put yourself out there and sell yourself. Okay, friends, my song is over. I love you all so much. Have yourself a beautiful, wonderful day. And I will see you in the course. Bye, friends.